I remember the day they sent that group message, to one that shattered me completely. It was supposed to be about support, about helping me overcome my demons, but it felt like a dagger twisting in my side. They painted me as fragile, a lost cause, a disgrace to everything I'd worked so hard to build. My best friend, the one I trusted more than anyone, had betrayed me, stolen my chance, then broadcast my vulnerabilities like they were trophies. Humiliated doesn't even begin to cover it. I was cast aside, humiliated in front of everyone I knew. The whispers, the pity, the judgment, they all sank deep into my bones. I felt broken, cast into a shadow of who I was. For months, I wondered if I'd ever recover from that shame, if I could ever look myself in the mirror again without the weight of their betrayal pressing down. But something inside refused to die. I made a choice, one born from the depths of my pain. I decided to leave behind the hurt, the insults, the doubts. I refused to let their betrayal define me. I channeled every tear, every ounce of humiliation into fuel. I set out to prove that I was more than their perception, that I was stronger than their lies. The journey was brutal. I fought against my own doubts, against the scars of betrayal that threatened to consume me. Every setback was a lesson, every failure a stepping stone. I dedicated myself to my craft, to my growth, to becoming the version of myself I knew I was capable of. I worked in silence, fueled by a quiet rage and an unyielding belief that I could transcend the pain they'd inflicted. Years later, I returned, not as the broken girl they thought they could crush, but as someone unrecognizable. I stood tall, eyes blazing with a fierce confidence forged in fire. I had built a life that silenced their doubts, success in my career, strength in my spirit, resilience in my soul. I turned their attempt to shame me into my greatest victory. That moment, when I finally faced them, was electric. I watched their faces shift from smugness to shock. They expected me to crumble, to beg for forgiveness, to disappear into the shadows. But instead, I looked them in the eye and saw the reflection of my own transformation. Unbreakable, unapologetic, victorious. In that silence, I realized I had won more than just their approval. I had reclaimed my dignity, my strength, my voice. I was no longer the girl they thought they could humiliate. I was a woman who had risen from the ashes of betrayal, forged into something more powerful than they could ever understand. And in that moment of quiet triumph, I knew this was my revenge, not in anger, but in resilience. I am unstoppable now. They may have tried to break me, but I broke free and I thrive.